Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name's Natalie and I do videos on handbag reviews, unboxings, a bit of luxury eye candy, so if you're into any of those, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you back. So we've got a fun little tag video for you guys today. It was a tag that was created by the gorgeous Cat L here on YouTube. So if you haven't heard of her or you haven't checked her channel out, please do. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. But she's a gorgeous luxe lover too. She loves handbags, she's got an amazing collection, and yeah, just check her videos out. She's so fun to watch. She created this tag video as a spin-off from a makeup tag. I think the tag was called All About My Makeup, but Kat has actually put her own spin to it. So she's made it all about my luxury handbags. It's just a list of 13 questions that you answer using bags in your collection. So for example, one of the questions is, what is your oldest handbag? So you go through your collection and you go through your oldest handbag. So I thought this was a really fun tag video to do. So if you've seen my previous handbag collection video, you'll know that I don't have a huge collection, so there may be a few repeats in here with some of the answers. I hope you don't mind. I still hope you enjoy seeing all the eye candy and enjoy my answers. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the very first question in this tag is, what is my newest handbag in my collection? And that is my Louis Vuitton Palm Springs mini backpack. So I've done so many videos on this bag, and if you haven't seen them, I'll link them in the description box below, but I absolutely love this bag. If you've seen my unboxing on this, you'll know that it took me forever to find the perfect one with the alignment all perfectly aligned there. So I'm finally glad I have the perfect one in my hands. I absolutely love this bag. It's got the gold chain that I've added myself. So this is from Organize My Bag. I'll leave a link to Organize My Bag down below. I have a 10% off discount code if you wanted to purchase anything from their website. So I'll leave all that down below. But yeah, I've just added it to my Palm Springs mini backpack just as a little detail and just to give it a bit of edge. I only got it a few months ago, so this was something I recently ticked off my wish list. So yeah, this is the newest baby in my collection. So the second question is, what is my oldest handbag in my collection? And that is my Louis Vuitton Eva clutch. So I got this bag back in my second year at uni, and it was my very first Louis Vuitton, very first designer handbag. And I used it everywhere I went, every day, every night, every occasion. I always reached for this bag and I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy it was my very first bag because they've discontinued it now, so it's no longer available. So I absolutely love this bag in my collection, and I apologize in advance if I say I absolutely love this bag throughout this video, because I do absolutely love all my handbags. If you've seen my handbag collection video, you'll know that I love each and every one of them, and each of them have a purpose in my collection. I'm not the type to just hold on to something just for the sake of holding on to it. I like to utilize everything in my collection, and so I feel like I have a well-rounded collection, and I've reached first piece in that I'm really happy with everything I have. So that's why you may see a few repeats here and there, just because I don't have a huge collection. I have a good amount for my life, I think. Anyway, going back to the tag video, this is my oldest handbag in my collection. So the third question is, what is my most expensive handbag in my collection? And that's at no surprise, my Chanel medium large classic flap in the black caviar leather with gold hardware. So this is a bag that I have wanted for so many years. This is my dream bag, and I got it about 4 years ago, and it was my most expensive handbag back then. And even now, due to the price increase of Chanel, this is still my most expensive handbag, and I don't think I'll ever purchase another handbag that's more expensive than this, just because this is my holy grail bag and I absolutely love it. So yeah, this is the most expensive handbag in my collection. So the next question is on the total opposite end of the spectrum of the previous question, which is, what is my most least expensive handbag? And that is my Louis Vuitton Eva clutch. Because this was my first designer handbag, I purchased this many years ago. It was a lot less expensive back then, and this was, I think, probably around $850 when I purchased it, which is insane because you can't purchase any Louis Vuitton handbags for under $1,000 these days. I'm pretty sure the pochette accessoire, which is like a small leather good, that's already over $900. So it was a great deal that I purchased this for just over $800. So I'm really glad I have this in my collection, and I purchased it when I did, just because it is discontinued now and you can no longer get your hands on it. And on the pre-loved market, I'm pretty sure it's well over $1,000. So yeah, this is my least expensive handbag in my collection. So the fifth question is, what is my everyday handbag in my collection? And right now it'll have to be my Givenchy Antigona in the mini size in the black box leather. So just because we are in a pandemic at the moment, I don't want to be carrying a huge bag around, and this actually fits all my essentials and more. It can fit a little water bottle and my wallet and hand sanitizer, and everything that I need actually fits in here. It's very understated. All it's got is the Givenchy logo there, and it does come with a crossbody strap. So I often wear it as a crossbody so I can be hands-free when I'm out at the grocery, so I'm not touching things constantly and then touching my handbag again. So I absolutely love this bag. I was going to say that my Palm Springs Mini is a really good everyday bag, but I haven't had it for long enough to kind of put it in that category. I have used it quite a bit since I got it, but not as much as this, just because I got this a few years ago. And this also, because it is the monogram canvas, I feel like it's a lot more flashy, it's a lot more in your face, whereas this is much more suited for every day, and it's very understated, and that's what I love about it. So yeah, this is the bag that I've been using every day. So the sixth question is, which bag in my collection has the best memory attached to it? And that'll have to be my Prada Saffiano double zip tote. So this is in the black Saffiano leather with gold hardware, and this has the best memory attached to it just because it was my dream bag back when I was in high school, back when I was still studying. And I remember telling myself back then that as soon as I get my first full-time job, I'm going to get myself this bag and treat myself to a really nice designer work bag. And so I studied really hard throughout high school, throughout uni, got my full-time job. And then when I got my first paycheck and was able to afford this bag, I went out and purchased it. And it's just a symbolism of all my hard work that I put in and how you can achieve what you want if you really work at it. This is just a really special piece to me. And even though I don't use it as often as I would like to, it's still something that I will always hold on to just because of that memory and sentimental factor to it. So the seventh question is, which handbag in my collection is worth the hype? And that'll have to go to my Chanel Square Mini. So mini bags, particularly the Square Mini from Chanel and the Rectangular Mini, are all the rage right now. Everyone is in love with mini bags, and I can totally understand why. This is such an amazing piece. I absolutely love her. This is my unicorn bag, for those who don't know. This is my favorite pink of all time. It's got the silver hardware so I can wear it casually. It's the Square Mini, so it's got a shorter strap. I can wear it as a crossbody. It can actually hold a lot too, so it can actually fit almost the same amount as my medium large classic flap from Chanel. So it's surprising how much this little mini can hold. So I absolutely love this one, and this is definitely a bag worth the hype. So the eighth question is, what bag in my collection is not worth the hype? And unfortunately, this guts me to say, but it has to be my Chanel medium large classic flap. As much as I said I absolutely love this bag, it's my dream bag, I just feel like the price of it now is just not worth it. I think in Australia this is over $10,000, almost $11,000. So for that amount of money, that's just a lot to spend. And as beautiful and as pretty and timeless as it is, I just don't think it's worth that much money. If I were to purchase it, I would probably go down the pre-loved market just because the retail price of it is just so much money. And even back then when I purchased this, it was a lot of money then. But yeah, thinking of it now, I just don't think it's worth the hype, and it's not worth that much money. Like, you could definitely use $10,000 for a lot of other things or a lot of other handbags. So yeah, this bag for that price is not worth the hype, but I still love it nonetheless. So the ninth question is, which handbag in your collection is your favorite from your favorite brand? And I was going to say my favorite bag in my entire collection is my Chanel Square Mini, so my unicorn bag, but I think Louis Vuitton is actually my favorite brand of all time, just because that's where I started my addiction, my luxury addiction, you could say, and it'll always have a spot in my heart. So for me, I think my most favorite bag is probably my Eva clutch, and that's just because it's been with me for so long. I absolutely love how versatile it is. You could use it as a crossbody, as a shoulder bag, as a handbag like that, or as a wristlet. There's so many different ways you can use it, and I have used this baby to death. It's so compact, you could pack it anywhere, you could take it traveling with you. It's just such a functional bag, and I absolutely love this bag. So this will have to be my favorite bag of all time from my favorite brand, which is Louis Vuitton. So the 10th question is, what is my most used bag in my entire collection? And that is my Longchamp Le Pliage Neo tote bag. So this is just the black nylon with the black leather, and this bag has been through thick and thin with me. I've used this as a travel bag, I use this as an everyday work bag, so this is a workhorse for me. I use it 5 days a week, and even on weekends if I need to pack a lot over the weekend, I will take this with me. So she has just held up so well. She has seen better days, but given how much I've used it and how long I've had her, I think she's just held up super, super well. So yeah, this is my most used bag in my collection. So the 11th question is, what is the most underrated bag in my collection? And that'll have to be my Longchamp Le Pliage Neo tote bag again. So I feel like this one doesn't get enough love or enough attention. I know a lot of people have it, but it's not really raved about as much. Not many people talk about it just because they think, yeah, it's just a tote bag, everyone has it, or everyone owns this. There's nothing special, but I actually think it is really special. It's so affordable. Anyone could start their collection off with this bag just because how affordable it is and how functional it is. So it's not a bag that you kind of just display and not use because it's too expensive or it's too fancy, it's only for special occasions. This is a bag that you could use all year round, and I guess you wouldn't really use it for a special occasion, but it's just a really practical bag, and it's so underrated in that no one really talks about it. I know everyone probably already has it, but it's just underrated in that it's not really spoken about and raved about, and I think it just deserves a lot more attention than it currently has. So yeah, this is my most underrated bag in my collection. So the second last question of this tag is number 12, which is what is the most nostalgic bag in my collection? And that is going back to my Louis Vuitton Eva clutch. As I said, this was my very first Louis Vuitton and designer handbag ever, and I use this to death just because it was my very first piece, and because I did purchase it in my second year at uni, I had a lot of parties to go to, a lot of social events, a lot of 21sts, a lot of clubbing nights, so this was my go-to bag, and it's just got so many memories attached to it. It just, every time I look at it, I just think of all the great times I had with friends and everything that this took me through. So the very last question, number 13, is what is the most disappointing handbag in my collection? And to be honest, that has to be none, just because I have thought through my entire handbag collection and I only keep items and bags that I truly enjoy using and have a purpose in my collection. So I've worked really hard over the years to kind of cull down my collection, work through what works for me and what doesn't, and kind of get to the place where I am now at first piece, where I'm really happy with everything that I have, and each bag that I have in my collection has its own purpose or serves its own purpose. So that's why there's no disappointing bag in my collection. I'm a firm believer that if you're not using something or if it's not working in your life, you should part with it and use those funds for something else that may work, or use those funds elsewhere. So yeah, there's no disappointing handbag in my collection, fortunately. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this tag and enjoyed my answers and seeing all the eye candy. Please feel free to do the tag yourself in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your answers to the questions. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back in future videos. I have a lot more content planned, so stay tuned for that. But until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!